Hey, what's up? And you're checking out Te Puutake.
Awesome. Okay, Maria, how was your summer, first of all?
Yeah, my summer was really good, thank you. Spent a lot of time in the gym, obviously, but mostly with family. So holiday time is all about family time.
Realistically, as a professional athlete, do you ever get a break?
No, no, not as much of a break as what we'd like to, but we're pretty full on. Obviously, if you play international netball, so for the Silver Ferns, after ANZ Champs, you go into camps and then test series, and we kind of finish in November and then start pre-season in December. So in between, it's really important that you do get a break because all part of your recovery and, freshening up, and it can get a bit tedious at times, but in terms of break, we don't get a lot, but when we do, we make the most of it.
And congratulations on your captaincy for this year, for this season.
You.
What are you looking to do? How are you looking to have input in terms of leadership with the team?
Yeah, so I'm really lucky. I've grown up with such great leaders during my time, and every leader is different and people love you for who you are, and I think for me, I lead on court. If I do my job on court, everyone else follows. So and obviously talking and all that sort of stuff, but for me it's just making sure that we've got a team of 12 instead of a team of 7, because at any given time any player that needs to come on court needs to be prepared, that's how I'll be preparing them.
How deep is your bench?
How deep is our bench? Yeah, so we've got a really, really young team, which is super exciting. Our bench is very young, but they know what's expected. We had a pre-season tournament in Sydney and they performed extremely well, which I was super proud of. So just making sure that we grow them as much as we can each day before each game.
What's some tips for our young people who are in leadership roles like yourself in a team? What's a key thing that's really worked for you? Maybe in those tough moments when you've got to confront players, what would you say?
Yeah, look, people love you for who you are, and I guess confrontation is one of the hardest parts of being a leader, but I guess you've got to find yourself in situations like that. Put yourself in situations like that. Everybody handles different situations at different times, but just know that when you do your job out there on court, you're very well respected from your peers, from your young mentors, and then they will just follow.
And you've got the reputation as the clutch player, the clutch shooter who can win a game and put that shot up. What's your advice on keeping your cool in those final few seconds when it all rests on you?
Oh God, I definitely wouldn't give myself that reputation, but I put myself in those situations a lot. So when I train, I make sure that what I replicate in training replicates, or what happens in games, I make sure that I train them so that when I do play, it's not so much of a shock. But I back myself a lot. I have a lot of confidence in myself. I don't play the perfect, or I've never played the perfect game, but there are times on court where things don't go well. So I self-talk a lot. So I talk to myself a lot on the court and try and pump myself up as much as I can. But just that whole self-belief and self-awareness, and putting yourself in those situations more so that it's not so much of a shock when you play.
So do you mean when you replicate in training, there's actually a time when you're training on your own, doing the shooting, and you say, okay, it's the final 3 seconds and I've got to make this shot, like you pretend it's like the final part of the game?
Yeah, totally. And if I don't make it, I punish myself, so I'll go and do some shuttles. So I don't want to run, okay, so I need to nail the shot. So those sorts of scenarios that you want to train and make the most of in trainings.
That's so cool. You've been in the game for a while. What is your tip for approaching each season fresh with an enthusiastic approach?
Yeah. You got to love what you do, and I'm so lucky that all of us are so lucky that we get to play netball, earn a living playing netball, and very few women get to experience what we do, so extremely lucky. But it's all about that balance. You've got to make time for what makes you happy, and for me, my family make me happy. Going to the beach makes me happy. It's just trying to find that balance and it could mean that you say no to an interview just so that you can go out to the beach and walk your dog and just have a bit of you time. So the more you do that, the more you love what you do and love the game.
And big year coming up with the Silver Ferns as well. How do you approach such a huge year? Do you just take it like one game at a time, one training at a time? Like, how do you break it down mentally, and what are some tips for our up-and-coming players?
Yeah, you definitely don't want to get too ahead of yourself, and yeah, you're right, taking it one day at a time, one game at a time, and I think it's really important to keep level-headed, have some goals and see how you're tracking, but yeah, just making sure you're slowly just chugging away, and that you see a little slight improvement each day. You know, there's going to be times where you stand or where you're on a still, maybe for a week or two, but just know that maybe you've got to change a few things up to make that improvement. But yeah, just loving what you do. Everything will improve the more you love what you do.
And finally, your top 2 shooting tips for having the mean shot, what would it be?
Upside down J, so making that shot so it's like a candy stick cane, as high as you can, just so that it's a lot harder for defenders to block.
So do you mean release at the top of your shot?
Release at the top of the shot, and man, turn and shoot from wherever you get in the circle. There's a reason why you've got that blim and bib on. It's just turn and shoot, don't pass it. Nail it, back yourself.
So lots of reps, catch and shoot.
Lots of reps, catch and shoot. Have a defender not 3 feet away, 1 foot away. Have a broom just at the top of the rim of the hoop so that you can get that high trajectory of the shot. But yeah, obviously a lot of practice.
Awesome. Hey, all the best for the season. Really looking forward to it. And thank you very much for your time.
No worries, thank you for having me.